All right, so in part 2, we're going to talk a little bit more about the trends in the graphs of quadratic functions, right? We saw in yesterday's lesson that sometimes the parabolas that we draw open up and sometimes they open down, right? Now, so each parabola, based on how it looks, has a maximum, which is the highest point, or a minimum, which is the lowest point. And in math, we don't say highest point, lowest point. The technical terms are the maximum and the minimum. So even if you're in calculus, we call it the maximum or the minimum. These are the technical terms, okay? Now, what is this maximum or minimum? Well, it happens to be the vertex, okay? Now, the shape of the graph, whether it opens down or it opens up, believe it or not, depends on the value of A. Not the value of A, the sign of A. If A is positive, like this was positive 1, the graph will open this way. If A is negative, right here it was negative 1, the graph will open this way, okay? So if A is positive, the vertex is a minimum. And this might be counterintuitive at first, except if I have like y equals positive x squared, the parabola will look like this. So the vertex is the minimum. It's the lowest point in the parabola. But if A is negative, then the vertex is a maximum. So if I have y equals negative x squared, it looks like this, and this is a maximum. It's the highest point of the parabola, okay? Now, we've talked about domain. The domain of all quadratic functions is all real numbers. So this is something that you never even have to think about. No math involved, no thinking involved. Whenever I ask you what's the domain of a quadratic function, all real numbers. The range depends on the vertex. It's the y coordinate of the vertex, okay? So if we have a minimum, then the range is y is greater than or equal to the vertex. If, oh, this should say maximum. Typo. This should say maximum. If the vertex is a maximum, okay, then the range is y is less than or equal to the coordinate of the vertex. You always need to refer to this for your range. Okay, now we talked about axis of symmetry yesterday, right? That's the one that divides into two symmetric halves. And then the equation for the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Okay? Now, lastly, how do we find the y-intercept? It's when the graph intersects the y-axis, and the way in which you do it, you can substitute the x with the 0, and then it's always going to be the c of it. So this was a lot of information. So now let's do one. Okay? All right. In this problem, we want to identify the vertex and determine all of this other stuff. So let's go one by one. First, vertex. For the vertex, I want to say x equals negative b over 2a. Okay? But in this case, I have the equation. I don't have the equation, I have the graph, right? So I can just go, where is the vertex? This is the vertex. What point is that? -1, -4. So that's the vertex. Okay, now, is this a maximum or a minimum? It's a minimum because it's the lowest point in the parabola. The domain is all real numbers, always. There is no thinking involved there. Okay? The range. Okay, now the range. For the range. Okay, so look at this one. I'm going to change the y value here into red. Okay? Do you see that? So the range is going to be y is greater than or equal to -4. It's the same value as this. And so I look at the parabola. If the parabola is facing up, then it's above the vertex, so greater than the vertex. Okay? Now, the y-intercept, the axis of symmetry is this one. Okay? The axis of symmetry is just x equals this number, -1. So do you see how once you have your vertex, all the other information is there? And then the y-intercept, where is the y-intercept? Is here. 0, -1. Good. Okay? Fabulous. Okay, let's do another one.
How did you get the axis of symmetry?
The axis of symmetry, remember? Okay, so like this was the equation for the axis of symmetry. It's also the x coordinate of the vertex, right?
So it would always be like.
So it's in the vertex. Yeah. It's the x coordinate. Exactly. It's the x coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so let's do another one. The key is the x coordinate of the vertex. Okay. The key is the vertex. Okay, that really, it's like you know, like level unlocked, right? You unlock the level using the vertex. That's what you need. So here we go. What's the vertex?
3, 5.
3, 5.
Yeah, 3, 5.
Okay. Okay. Is this a maximum or a minimum? Maximum. Oh my God. That does not look good. Okay. The domain is what? All real numbers. Okay. The range. Y is less than or equal to, this time, 5. Okay. I'm color coding. Yeah. If it goes, right. If it goes down, do you see how the parabola is below the vertex? Less than or equal to. Okay. Axis of symmetry.
3.
X is equal to 3. Okay, now look. Suppose this is a 2-point problem for axis of symmetry. If you don't have x equals, you only get half credit. You have to have x equals. If you just say 3, that's not a line. So this is the axis of symmetry. It's a line. And then the y-intercept is 0, -4. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let's do this one quickly. Vertex, how much?
-3, -5.
Okay, so Jacob, is this a maximum or a minimum? Minimum. Okay, L, what's the domain? All real numbers. Okay, Eitan, what's the range?
The range is -5.
But is it, okay, yes, it is -5, but is it less than or greater than?
It is greater than.
Greater than or equal to -5? Okay, good. Okay, okay, Benny, how about axis of symmetry?
-3.
X equals -3, right? And then Josh, what about the y-intercept?
The y-intercept is 0, 4.
Correct. Okay. Now, instead of the graph, we're going to be given the equation. But that's okay, because really all we need is the vertex. Okay? So, to find the vertex, we need to do x equals -b/2a. So, x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, Sammy, what's a here? One. It's the 1x squared, so it's 1. Okay, so a is 1. And then Ella, what's b? 10. So this is going to be negative b, which is negative 10, over 2 times 1, negative 5. Okay, now, what about y? So for y, I'm going to plug it in. In parentheses, negative 5 squared plus 10 times negative 5 minus 5. So 25 minus 50 minus 5. 25 minus 50 is negative 25, negative 30. So my vertex is negative 5, negative 30. Okay? Okay. So, Lior, is this going to be a maximum or a minimum? We need to look at the sign of the A. If it's positive, it looks like this. So what do you think? Minimum. Okay? So that's how I reason it out. If A is positive, it looks like this. Minimum. Okay. Domain is all real numbers. Range. Because it's a minimum, so maybe always sketch it like this. Because it's a minimum, it's going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 30. Okay? Axis of symmetry. X equals, what does x equal? Negative 5, right? Do you see that? If you look at the vertex, this is x, this is y, correct? So, okay? And then the range is y, it goes with the y. The axis of symmetry is x, it goes with the x. I mean, it just makes so much sense. And then, okay, for the y-intercept, for the y-intercept, we're going to do y equals, and we're going to plug in zeros for all the x's. 0 squared, 10 times 0 minus 5, negative 5. Okay? 0 comma negative 5. You can do it that way, or if you remember, then you can just say it's always the constant, the c value. Okay? Okay. So this is always just that number. Okay? All right. Here we go. One more. Okay, vertex. So here, what's A?
1. Negative 1.
Negative 1. B is 8. So, x equals negative b over 2a. Negative 8 over 2 times negative 1. How much?
Negative 4.
4.
Oh, wait.
Positive 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the y, let's plug it in. Look at this. Negative 4 squared. Okay, the negative doesn't get squared. The negative is outside. Plus 8 times 4 minus 9. Negative 16. Positive 32 minus 9. So this is 7. Okay, so now look. Here, A is negative 1, right? Negative means it faces this way. So does this have a maximum or a minimum? Maximum. You know, take a second and just sketch it. So that also tells you if the range is going to be positive, greater than or less than. Okay. Domain. Range y is less than or equal to 7. Right? Axis of symmetry, x equals 4. What's y-intercept? Yeah.
0, -9.
0, comma, -9. Good. Okay, so this next one, you're on your own. Go. So first find the x. Twelve times 2. You guys are supposed to do this one on your own. Let's do it. Okay. So here we go. We need to find the vertex. So x equals -b over 2a. So for your homework, I'm not giving you too many to do, right? What I would suggest is go on MyJag, open up the blank notes, and maybe do these again as practice, because now you have your solutions that we did right now. And then this. So before or after you do the homework, do these ones on the notes again, because you really need as much practice as you can. The quickness and the fluency comes from practice. What's A here? Ella, what's A here? Just one. Okay, and then Eitan, what's B? 2. So this is going to be -2 over 2 times 1. That's -1. Okay, now, when I'm going to plug it in here, it's -1, so I need parentheses. Exponent first, +1. -2, -3. Oh, look at that. 1 minus 2 minus 3. -4. Okay?
So it's going to be minimum.
Minimum. Y is greater than or equal to what? -4. Y, right? Y. Axis of symmetry, x is -1. Y-intercept, 0, comma what? -3, right? Just look over there. So now look at this. Let me give you a quicker way to do this graph. -1, -4. Right? So, huh? Oh, shoot, I did. Sorry. Okay, so now look at this one. So if -1 is here, then what points here I have -2, okay? Right? Let me just do this one. -2 And then here I have 0. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Let's plug in the 0. When I plug in the 0, what is it? Or you know what? I'm going to do something else. You know what? I'm going to skip this altogether. What's the y-intercept?
Negative 4.
Y-intercept 0, -3. Where is the mirror image of that point? Is it this one? Yes, is it that one? Because it's around the vertex, right? So guess what? That's enough. So then, okay? So then if you do that, this will be optional. Okay? You can just do the y-intercept. So let's do another one. Isn't that easier? Yeah, let's do another one. Okay. Let's find vertex. B is 6. A is -1. So -6 over 2 times -1. How much is that?
+3.
Yep. So y equals -3 squared. 6 times 3 minus 2. Okay. Moment of truth. How much is all this going to be? Is this going to be -9 or +9? -9. Is the negative in parentheses? No. So you only square the 3. So it will be -9. Okay? So this is all of that middle school math now coming back, right? So this will be 7. 3,7. Okay. Who says maximum for this? Who says minimum for this? Oh, now you're not voting. You got to vote. Who says maximum? Okay. A is negative, so it's going to look like this. It's maximum. Yes. All reals? So what's y? To 7. Axis of symmetry?
X equals 3.
Thank you for saying x equals. Love that. What's y-intercept? 0, -2. Okay, let's do this. 3, 7. Y-intercept is 0, -2. Okay? Now this is where you have to make it symmetric. So look at this. It's 1, 2, 3 away. So I got to go 1, 2, 3 away.
What if you did it?
Okay? You have to make it symmetric, guys. And then here. Okay? If you want to put this guideline, the vertical line, totally fine with me. That's your axis of symmetry, right? So that's fine. Or if you want to not do it, that's also fine. Okay? All right. Last but not least, this one. What's A?
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do like the table.
Correct. What's A?
1.
1.
-7.
A is 1. Not B is 0. Good. B is 0. So x is 0 over 2 times 1, 0. So vertex is 0, what? -7. Good. A is positive, so it's going to look like this, so it's a minimum. All real numbers.
If it's a minimum, if it has negative numbers, is it usually going to be minimum?
No. It only has to do with,
The x.
yeah. Because it could be all in the negatives, but still going down.
So if the x is positive, then
No. Yes, if A is positive. Okay, axis of symmetry, x equals 0. What's the y-intercept?
0, -7.
0, -7. So now in this case, we are going to need another point. Because, okay, this is the vertex. It also happens to be the y-intercept. So now I do need another point. What's the easiest point to work with? Well, 0 we already have. 1, right? This is 0. Another point is 1. So I put it in there. 1 squared minus 7 is -6. So I put a point here. And then where would I put the third point?
The one away from that, like at the axis of symmetry, then you do 1 away from there.
1 away. So here, right? Okay, let me make it symmetric. How does that look, guys? Okay. Okay, now listen. I can do 1,000 of these for you. And you know what happens when I do 1,000 of them? I get better at doing them. And you stay the same. So, if we want me to stay the same and you to get better, then you need to do 10, 15, 20 of them. Because I don't need to get any better. I'm fine. Now it's your turn. Okay? So after doing the homework or before doing the homework, at any, whatever, you need to review these notes again. Okay? Again. Okay. So the homework is a worksheet. And it's on MyJag, and I'll give it to you as well, but you need to do the homework.